Hi, welcome everybody from TechnoLost to this dedicated focus on the multimedia side for the Sony Xperia Tablet Z. Well, first of all, just let me remind you a few hardware specs regarding the sensor of this device. We have the front-facing camera, which is a 2.2 megapixel Eximor-R sensor. Not bad. I mean, it's even capable of recording 1080p video. Then we have the main sensor, which is the Eximor-R, once more 8 megapixel sensor. The lens has an aperture size of f2.4, so not that bad to be a tablet indeed. So these are of course, the technical specs for what concern this device. Now let's see what we have here for the camera UI. Well, for those of you who already own or know the Sony Xperia Z, this UI for the camera is not that far indeed. We have few, maybe not few, but several mode selection for what concern operating mode of this camera. We have the superior auto, we have normal, video camera, burst, picture effect, sweep panorama, scene selection, front camera and front video. Of course, each one of these operating mode has several settings. We have, for instance, the resolution, which is just up to 7 megapixel for this superior auto, although the sensor is 8 megapixel capable. Then we have the self timer, smile shutter, quick launch, which let us choose whether we want to just start the camera or start and start capturing at the same time. I mean, these kind of settings, to me, it's more interesting when we have a dedicated camera button, which is not the case for this device, of course. Then we have the geotagging, auto upload, touch capture. It will let us choose where to capture shot just touching the screen. Then we have shared sound data storage. We can select where to use internal storage or SD card slot, if of course we have an SD into the SD card slot, as it's in my case. Well, if we change to normal, we have other settings like here the exposure. We can select whether to use or not the HDR mode. Then we have here finally 8 megapixel resolution on 4:3, of course. We have self timers, smile shutter, quick launch once more. Focus mode, we have face detection, touch to focus, object tracking, multi autofocus, single autofocus. We have once more exposure value, as I told you, HDR, white balance, ISO, metering, image stabilizer, geotagging, auto upload and touch capture. So we have a little bit more settings. Then we have the camera. The highest resolution possible here is the 1080p, of course, and we have 720, 480 and even 144. Then we have scene selection. We have several scenes here: soft snap, landscape, night, beach, snow, sport, party. We have the self timer, of course, quick launch once more, focus mode, exposure value, white balance, metering, image stabilizer, geotagging, microphone. We can mute the microphone if we want, so we won't record the audio. Who wants? Touch capture, serial sound data storage. We have in this burst mode, and depending on what kind of burst speed we want, we have slightly less resolution. Then picture effect is nothing but some real-time picture effect that we can apply directly while taking a picture. Then we have the sweep panorama. We can even decide the sweep direction, right, left, down and up. We have scene selection with different kind of scene, as you can see, and we have of course we go front camera and front video. So this is the camera UI. We have of course the button to take picture and to start shooting video at the same time on the screen, which is quite useful to me. Of course, we can take picture while recording video. So this is not far from the Xperia Z UI for what concerns the camera. Now let's see the gallery interface. Even the gallery is not that far from the one found into the Xperia Z. We have this kind of grouping by date, and we can even perform this small, zoom in or out to have bigger thumbnails of our pictures and video. Of course, we have this other, kind of view, which is called My Albums. We have here the maps, which is really nice to me. It's this way to see where we took the shot, and we can just press to see the shot we took in that place. We have here even glow, which is very spectacular. Let me tell you, it's really nice. And here we can even perform a pinch to zoom like this. I mean, it's not dramatic useful, but it's nice indeed. We have my SD card. Let us see the directory where we have picture or videos. Of course, into the SD card. We have these camera albums. Let us group between pictures and videos into the camera album, and then we can of course select different social source like Playing Memories, Facebook, Picasa, or if you have a DLNA capable device into your network, like it's in my case. Of course, we have even this face recognition algorithm. Let us choose different face. You have to assign a name for a given face, of course, not this time. So this is the more or less the interface of this picture. Of course, we can always give a look to the position using here just pressing here, okay. And of course we can modify the picture like it's used onto Jelly Bean, so nothing really dramatically new here. So now that we saw the camera UI, the gallery interface, we can discuss about picture quality and video quality, recording and taken by this Sony Xperia Tablet Z. Well, let's start with the picture. Let's start with good light condition like this. So as you can see, the picture not bad. There's very good contrast into the scene, but as soon as you start zooming in like this, you will start immediately seeing that we have quite a big loss of details. Just let me zoom more and you will see that you can barely distinguish the different the grass. It's all merged together. Even here it's not that good. Definitely I would expect much better from this excimer R sensor. Even where we have poor light condition like here, it's almost completely merged together. It's almost undistinguishable. This is anyway for what concern good light condition. Moreover, we have HDR scene. This is the normal picture. This one is the HDR picture. I don't know if you can appreciate it from the video camera, but just let me tell you that the HDR version has much less contrast. Like as you can see here, there's some kind of gray veil on all the picture, which is not that good. Let me show you another HDR picture if I can find one. Yes, this one is the normal picture, this one is the HDR version. As you can see, we have more deep blacks here, and there's some kind of gray veil on all the picture here. Of course, even in good light condition like this, we have a very high loss of details here. As you can see, I hope you can see from the video camera, but I can tell you for sure that we have this kind of problem with this excimer R sensor. The macro mode is a different kind of beast. We don't have all those kind of problem with the macro mode. The macro are quite good, although as you can see here we have nevertheless a little bit of loss of details, but very few, details less for what concern the macro mode. This one is another macro, as you can see. It's quite good for this device, not bad at all. Now let's see something about the panoramic mode. Let me find a panoramic picture like this. Where is it? Here we go. The picture itself is not bad. We don't have any kind of problem for concern the merging algorithm. It's quite good. Not that so much evident artifact while composing the panoramic picture. To me, the downside of the panoramic picture is the fact that the resolution is way too low. Just let me show you the details of the picture, just to give you an idea. We have the height of this picture, which is just 1080. It's not that much for a panoramic picture indeed. So what is the side effect? If you start zooming, of course, you will see immediately the loss of details, and this is a pity to me. So we've seen good light condition, we've seen HDR, we've seen panoramic mode. Let's see night picture or picture taken with very few light, like this one. Well, here you can imagine nothing but the fact that we will have a very big loss of details here. If we already have a loss of details in picture with very good light condition, we couldn't have any better result in low light condition. It's completely a mess. And this is a very low light picture, but if I'm going to show you like this one, it's a little bit better, definitely better of course, but there's anyway here a lack of details, although not that much as in the previous night mode picture. So this is for what concerns the picture quality. Now just let me tell you about the video quality of this Sony Xperia Tablet Z. This is a 1080p video. Okay.
Ciao a tutti, da TechnoLost ecco un esempio di video girato a 1080p dal Sony
Okay,
Xperia Tablet.
so as you can see, consider that we are talking about an Android tablet, and the fact that usually, especially with Android tablet, the camera is terrifically bad. This is not that bad anymore. I mean, it's not completely fluid, it's not perfectly smooth at all, but it's not bad. Even while panning like this or with fast moving subject in front of us, it's not the best on the world, of course, but considering it's a tablet and definitely an Android tablet, it's not that bad. This is the 1080p. Just let me show you now the 720p. Here we go. Of course, given the fact that we have less resolution here, and it's immediately understandable why viewing this video on a 1080p display, sorry guys, like the one that we have here in our Sony Xperia Tablet Z. So aside the resolution loss, which is nothing but understandable because it's recorded in 10 and 720p. Here the video is not bad, not that perfectly smooth, of course, not perfectly fluid, but it's not bad to be an Android tablet after all. Of course, you will have this video loaded into the channel, so you can judge more or less by yourself, considering YouTube usually may reframe the video. Okay, so this was the 720p. So quick recap for concern picture and video. Given the fact that this is an Android tablet, there's nothing strange here in not having a great camera. Nevertheless, having an XMR sensor, maybe I would have expected more from the Sony Xperia Tablet Z. Now let's go on and let's see. No, sorry, just few more info. The maximum size for the picture is 2.2 megabit more or less, so the medium size is 2 megabit. Some info about the video. The 1080p video was recording using a bitrate of 17.3 megabit per second. The audio is stereo, recording at 128 kilobit per second at 48 kilohertz. And the 720p video was recording with a bitrate of 11.9 megabit per second. The audio was stereo once more, the same bitrate 128 kilobit per second and the same frequency 48 kilohertz. Just one more things about video. The audio quality is really great, as it was for the Sony Xperia Z. So this is for what concern picture and video recording. Now let's talk about video playback. Let's open up the movies application. This is the one used by Sony to reproduce video into the Sony Xperia Tablet Z. We have here our movies. The online service, which is Video Unlimited, will let us buy and maybe even rent, but I'm not sure. I would say just buy new video, of course, but let me tell you, it's definitely not cheap. If we take something like, where is it, Django, the price is definitely not that cheap. We have 15.99 euro. Wow. And it's just SD quality, so definitely it's not that cheap. Well, the interesting part of this device, of course, we can have the DLNA integration. What is really interesting is this kind of title scraping. We have here lookup. We just can enter the movie title, and the device will look for the information, something like maybe IMDb. I don't know what to be more precise, I don't know what exactly, but here we have, for instance, Skyfall. If we do selected, the result is that we have the theatrical picture here, and we have the synopsis for the movie. Not that bad after all. For what concerns video reproduction, the behavior of the Sony Xperia Tablet Z is the same of more or less all the recent Android devices. We can reproduce MKV, but just video, not audio. We can reproduce with no problem MP4 and AVI and DVX and Xvid, but there's no way to reproduce, for instance, Windows Media Video. So let's start. This is the 1080p MKV. As you can see, video but no audio. Okay. We have the 720p MKV once more. Video but no audio. Okay. We have the AVI DVX video, no problem, audio and video. Okay. We have the Xvid video, no problem. This is even a 1080p video. And we have the MP4, no problem once more. Audio and video. Just a small parenthesis, the speaker of this device are not bad anymore. I do remind you that we have stereo speaker, one here on the lower left corner and one on the lower right corner. Not a bad result to be, small speakers. I mean, maybe having front side speakers would have been even better, but those speakers found into the Sony Xperia Tablet Z are definitely not bad, with a good volume even a nice surround effect when we use dedicated audio modified files, like the notification, for instance, file that we can find into the Sony Xperia Tablet Z. So we have completely different situation if we use a third-party video player, like for instance MX video player. Just let me start the application here. We won't have any problem anymore in reproducing MKV file. This is the 1080p audio and video with hardware acceleration. As you can see, hardware here. The same goes for the 720p, no problem, audio and video. Hardware acceleration, of course. No problem for what concerns the MP4 file. Once more, audio and video, hardware acceleration. Here we go. Okay. We have no problem for DevX and XVED. Once more, audio and video, hardware acceleration, and even here, hardware acceleration. But what is interesting is that we can finally reproduce Windows Media video file. This is 480p audio and video, but software acceleration. We have the 720p. Apart from the starting up, it's not bad, almost completely fluid, and audio and video, of course, software acceleration. We can even reproduce the 1080p Windows Media video file, but definitely it's not enjoyable because it's not that fluid. So this is the situation for concerned video playback. Now let's talk about audio playback. We have the Walkman application here. We can of course browse our music by songs, albums, together with the picture, artists. We have our playlist. We have the Music Unlimited online service. We have music shared by friends on Facebook, for instance, or favorites, or even DLNA capable device. If we start reproducing the file like this, we can even change using this swipe gesture on the album picture. What is interesting of this player is the fact that we can use this like infinite button with let's choose for music video. You can see find music video on YouTube, get more play now, so we can find other songs from these artists on the play now service. We can search for artists into Wikipedia. We can search for lyrics on Google. We can search karaoke video on YouTube, or search for more extensions. So this is not bad. It's quite interesting. What is even more important to me is the fact that the audio given by this tablet, as I told you, is not bad. It's not bad using the default stereo speaker, but it's even better and more enjoyable using the headphones. We have here, you can see the settings. We have clear audio here, which let us helps us in reproducing and having better audio reproduction via headphones. But we can even select our custom sound enhancement. And just let me tell you that this clear bass here, this bass enhancement is not bad at all. Usually what I found is using the default audio amplifier or equalizer inside the smartphone or tablet, is that the final result is far from being optimal. Well, this integrated equalizer is definitely not bad at all. So good job Sony for this integrated sound enhancement. Well, for this dedicated focus on the multimedia side for the Sony Xperia Tablet Z, that's all. Just a quick recap. So this is a very good device. We have, at least on paper, quite a good sensor with a small 8 megapixel sensor, but on the fact if we try to use it for picture and video, the results are not that good. To be honest, and we must admit that usually on tablet we don't have very good cameras, but nevertheless this was an excimer R sensor. We would have expected a little bit more from this sensor. Who knows, maybe a firmware upgrade for the camera sensor could help us in obtaining better result. Anyway, this remains a very good multimedia player for concerning music, audio and video, of course. So for what concerns this dedicated focus on the Sony Xperia Tablet Z multimedia side, that's all. Once more, thanks for watching and bye from TechnoLost.